lots of different paper, whatever I've got. I like Abranet. It works awesome. I use Abralon all the time. This is the Saya paper. It works fine. And I don't use a lot of different grits for the finishing itself. You know, of course, when I'm turning and I'm sanding on the wood. But I usually won't start. I usually like, if I don't have a lot of huge ridges, I'll start with 400 and go to 600 and then apply more. We'll go to about 4,000 grit before polishing with the Abralon, which is the foam back. Pass. That's the Abralon. And that stuff is just awesome. You can wash it out, reuse it, whatever. It works really well. Matter of fact, let me see. Oh, there's a sheet of 400. So we'll start with 400. Now this sanding block, I think I got this from Vince, and it's almost like this side is about the density of a chalkboard eraser, and this is a softer pad. And I'll use both sides. When I start, I always use the harder side. And there again, I'm going to be sanding across the grain. And I'll show you something here in a second. Now, I'll dust this off. You can see the shiny spots are the low areas. So it's almost like in the old days when they were painting cars, they do what they call a guide coat when they would block out a car. It's a lot like a guide coat. And what it does is it shows you where you need to sand more. So I'm going to work across the grain or the ridge in this case. Now you can see, and I was talking about those legs, and I don't know if you can see that in the picture. Those are actually runs in the glue.
Run?
Yeah, it's where it was. You can see this texture here. That is where it was centrifugally pushing the glue out.
So if you slow down your legs, does it change?
It just doesn't go on as well. It's kind of a little bit of a fine line. I don't like to put it too slow because you're going to stick the pad because that glue is going to start setting on you.
But since you're hand sanding, there's no chance of you burning that.
Less. You can still burn through an edge pretty quick. And this, like I said, this is 400.
What would you call that pad you're using?
I don't remember what they're called. Vince sells them on his website. I know that. They're about $8 or $9. Matter of fact, I'm going to get a bunch of them before the Aeromont trip and just give them out to everybody so they have them.
Vince, what kind of website is that?
Vince's Wooden Wonders. Steve might even be able to get them. I'm not sure. I'd ask him too. But you got to sand it smooth.
So you're looking for all your shininess to disappear?
Yes, without sanding through. And when you sand through, you quickly realize it because it'll look different. And I'm just dusting it off, and you can still see. And I do very little power sanding. Rare occasions do I ever get out a drill. It's just not that hard, and it doesn't take much more time, and you're at much less risk of damaging the finish. And it cleans off pretty good too. So.
You're using 400.
Yeah, this is 400.
400 or P400?
This is P400. So it's what, like closer to 320, yeah. Something like that. Yeah, this paper is a European paper, so it's going to be in the P grades. I think 3M is the only one anymore that even has anything in the SAE type grades. And you can still see, this is that edge, and you can see that shiny line there. That's something I got to get down. What's that?
I said, I'm surprised you haven't sanded through it.
Yeah, no, this stuff's tough. I mean, it's hard. It's fairly thick, but it's not that thick. It's just hard. It sands way different than other finishes. And you'll know if I sand through, because I'll usually say a cuss word or something. That's kind of just like the last cut. You're always in trouble with.
One more. Make it a little thinner.
Yeah.
Oh, honey, I make it another funnel.
I had a piece that, and it was like a $1,500 vase that I dropped after I finished it. I cut. Well, there again, I've done stupid stuff. So I partially severed a finger in a joiner. And it got a couple of fingers and nerves, so I don't have a lot of feeling in about 3 fingers in this hand. And I was holding it, and I didn't realize, and I just dropped it, and it shattered. After about 70 hours worth of work. My acorn cap pieces are just... See, right there, I sanded right through. You see how that looks different? But that's the reason why I'm going to put more coats on. Yeah, I know. I try to keep it as PG as possible.
So that bald spot or that clear spot that's a burn through?
Yeah, has a burn through. But that's okay. We got the edge good. I don't often burn through, so that's just a lack of practice there. Yeah, for demonstration purposes. Now you see, I'll hit the center of this.
Now, if that, through the seam, that piece moves a little bit,
What's that?
that bowl there, how big if that moves, if you take the house and it moves through the seam, will that?
No, it really doesn't. And like I said, if you seal it inside and out and it's dry, it's not going to move enough to damage the finish. But it needs to be sealed inside and out. You know, somebody, and I talked to her one time that she does it in her offset glasses, as Barbara Dill uses CA in those to make them drinkable. And I guess CA is food safe. I don't know. But I know nothing will soak through it, so. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, here, I'm just going to take a piece of sandpaper here, and I'm going to. With a what?
This type of finish with a bark edge?
I have, well, yes and no. Yes, I have. I don't know, that's a little bit more of a challenge. I don't think I would, because there's a lot more hand sanding, and anytime you're getting a bark edge around your hand, spinning, it's a bit of a risk. And I can tell you from previous experience, it's not a good thing.
For the inside of a vessel, you put as many coats or just one coat?
No, I'll usually put as many, but it depends on how much I'm sanding it. You know, some people aren't as picky as I am about that stuff. I've always been of kind of the mindset, if when I charge a lot of money for something, I want it as perfect as possible. Sometimes that gets me into trouble.
So if you run out of things, stupid things to do yet?
No, I haven't. Yeah, just ask my wife that one.
She's the one that drives you to the hospital?
Yes. Yes, she does. My kid, when I did that, my kid was only about 4 years old, and he thought I was dying. He told me on the way to the hospital he was going to miss me, and I said, Betty, I just cut my finger off. Yeah. My dad was an industrial arts teacher after he retired from the military, and I won't tell you what he told me after I told him what I did, so. Anyway, so we're here. We're back at kind of, I'm just going to run this to 400 because it will meld in the CA. And I'm going to go ahead and,
Give the stuff back.
oh, man.
The door prize, isn't it, Tom? Maybe. I didn't know if he was gonna use it.
And I'm just doing that on the dry surface. See, but here, watch this. I'll put this a little wetter, and it will actually melt some of that. There we go.
Do you do this with grooves in the bottom of your piece? Like I like to put little circles in the bottom of my pieces?
I don't get that fancy. No. You know, it would fill the grooves, I can tell you that. I'm just happy to get something off the lathe in one piece usually.
Turn the bowl a little bit.
What's that?
You would like to see the sand through spot.
Oh, okay. You can see them right here, right there, right there. Right, that's back the same one.
What did you sand this to prior to starting?
I think I sanded it to 600. I usually go to 600 on stuff. It probably doesn't make that much of a difference. 400 is probably fine if you want to know the truth.